Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pash On Podcast. Let's get started with your host, Brian Pash.
Hi, this is Brian Pash, and welcome to another podcast interview. I am so pleased to have Josselyn Boudett. She's the CEO of Stella Automotive. Today, we're talking about AI and the year that AI will really make a breakthrough in retail operations across sales and service. Josselyn, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Great to be here.
You know, it wasn't long ago when somebody said to me, "Hey, have you seen Stella?" And I'm like, "No, I haven't." And now there seems to never be a dealer meeting where digital voice assistants and Stella is being brought up in the conversation. What has changed? Is it the AI has finally come mainstream? Is it AI outside of automotive with ChatGPT and other applications? Why is the buzz and awareness really reaching a critical mass now in automotive retail?
Yeah, I think it is all those things. ChatGPT and OpenAI are certainly a tidal wave that hit the market. My phone started ringing in February. What is it? What does it mean? Is that what you're doing? Yes. So I think that's really been a boon for AI as far as general awareness level and sizzle, and has put a frenzy, sort of into the gestalt of all markets, and specifically in auto, just because I think on many dimensions, auto is a little behind in bringing modern technology to market.
Well, we know that for years, we've been hosting conferences. We've talked about phones. We've talked about phone training. We've talked about phone accountability. We've talked about phone scoring. But it seems that delivering a consistent, high-quality customer experience seemed almost like a fool's errand. High turnover in the BDC, high turnover in managers at the dealership with a focus on calls. And finally, I think dealers are realizing, man, we still have a gap. We need something to fill this gap. So at a very fundamental level, Josselyn, how does AI really improve the customer experience, the gap that's everyone's aware of?
Well, I mean, that's a lot to unpack, and hopefully we could do that for a little bit here. But at a high level, I think AI is delivering a higher caliber experience than your average telephone call with a human. So I think in all markets and all places, there's these wonderful, exceptional people that answer the phone and deliver a out of this world experience. I think those people are going to rank number one. If we could answer all telephone calls with wonderful receptionists, I think that would be a perfect world. But the reality is those aren't the people we're able to find to answer the phone. And when you compare an AI that can deliver standard, perfect, exceptional enunciation, standard branding, compliance with the mission and objectives of the dealership or the group or the OEM, and that can consistently offer the correct notifications, disclosures, apply the rules, and book the correct appointments at the correct time with the correct op code, with the correct transport, with the correct annotations, that is just it's an earthquake. I think it's real. It's here. Stella's delivering it. We often get poo-pooed because I think people have been hearing about, oh yeah, we bought a chat bot. Oh yeah, we have, call recordings or call analytics or whatever. This is not the same thing. We're talking about a computer answering the telephone and talking to people in a friendly way and helping them with no human intervention, and a complete done with a perfect record and a perfect administration and its own reporting and disclosures of how it performed and the status of the call, the disposition of the customer, everything.
And one of the things, Josselyn, that I've come to know through conversations with you and your team, that these call conversations have distinct workflows. They can be customized. But if I call and say, hey, I need a new tire, the dealership receptionist may say, okay, I'll schedule for a tire. But, whether it's a front tire or rear tire could make a difference. Or, hey, my lights on, red lights on. Okay, good. I'll schedule an appointment. Ideally, you would want to know what light and when does it come on, and silly things like asking if they need a loaner car or transportation consistently every time, if that's the experience that you want. I just know that every time I've called service, it's been a very, very inconsistent process. And in fact, since I know what I want, I've actually had to volunteer information that wasn't asked. Is that part of it? Like, we can really make sure that we're saving time down the whole ecosystem.
Oh, absolutely. I think, the details in those examples that you gave are really where the rubber meets the road for saving time at the dealer. And I think your average call center does not, as you said, gather that level of specificity. So yeah, we've been working, last year we launched the ability to book appointments for the service lane. This year we've launched the ability to be a receptionist at the front of the dealer. Stella can take 10, 20,000 phone calls at a single rooftop now. Routing phone calls is a complex area where I think we're the first to market. And then in the detail, I think both at the booking layer and at the call routing layer, you're looking at a pretty complex set of rules around what we would call dynamic transports. Needing to know, is this a white glove service customer? Is this a longtime valued customer? What kind of repair is this? And does it qualify for a loaner car? And regarding the repair itself, is it a major repair or a minor repair? Has the car been in recently? Has it received its major service? And really looking at mileage-based op codes, and putting that data together with things like recall. So these are very dynamic subjects. You'd be stretched to find a call center employee that would be able to navigate these topics. And yet that is exactly the area where our AI is really learning at this time.
One of the other realizations that I believe dealers are having is that consumers are more comfortable with digital voice assistants because they're experiencing that in other areas of retail. But they also know that it's hard to motivate employees to do the things that need to get done in a timely manner. And my thought process is this, Josselyn: if I'm working at a dealership and I know Stella's coming in, I could look at it two ways. Hey, this technology is going to take away my job, or I'm going to let Stella take care of the 80-90% of the common simple things that are going on in the dealership, and I'll take the more high value tasks. I will take calling people with declined services and the high value opportunities that bring net revenue. How do you talk to dealership employees that may feel threatened? For me, it almost feels like the work environment would be better, but maybe I'm just open to technology. How would you coach or explain this implementation to a BDC team?
Yeah, I think it's really different than that. When the reality in a lot of dealers is they're not threatened by AI, they're threatened by being overwhelmed. We find a lot of the dealers struggle to keep up with the standards required by the brand and even group to deliver the scores and the compliance and the rigor that's needed. It's a battle. Customers are on hold. Customers are dropping off. So I think the first thing I'd say is this really isn't about people losing their jobs. It's about helping the dealer accomplish its goals. And if I think of a stream of, let's say, 10,000 packages arriving at your door, and I automatically handle 4,000 of them. They're just magically gone, all of them with an 8 or above score of happiness. Now you only have 6,000 packages to process with this, same team.
Right.
You can do a better job at the work you're doing. Nobody likes tedious work. I mean, raise your hand if your goal today was to sit on the phone and book service appointments.
Right. Well, you bring, when you bring it down to that, I hope the dealers who are listening really take a fresh look at the operational efficiency, the customer experience, elevation. I think that we forget, and maybe it's because we don't want to look at how many calls are dropped, just because people don't want to wait. We're a very impatient society. How many calls are routed to an extension where no one's there, or a dead extension? I mean, we can go through the list. And if Stella's technology allows every call to be answered immediately with the right greeting, with the right process, with the right routing, well, then we're talking about a significant elevation to the dealer's bottom line. And Josselyn, let's just assume that every dealer says, I'd like my customers to have the best customer experience. But dealers are also motivated. Where am I going to put my energies, or where am I going to focus on changing my customer experience that's also going to increase my profits, right? Because they have limited time. Okay. What would you tell a general manager who's listening, who's knows the phones aren't being handled properly, know that turnover in the BDC or training is inconsistent, but they've put up with it, but they're trying to hit their numbers. They're just shy of performance bonus that their dealer group has. What kind of financial lift could you talk to dealers by creating this, answering every call the right way every day, 24/7? What could you say?
Well, there's such a wild swing between dealer size, location, and sort of the profile of any given dealer, but we haven't found a dealer that doesn't benefit, even a small dealer. So, I mean, I can give you extravagant numbers, and I will. But I don't think that,
I like extravagant numbers, by the way.
I do. Extravagance is fabulous, but I mean, I think there's smaller dealers where it's, they're out on the lot and they can't get to the phone. It's just as valuable there. There may not be no cost savings, but it's really just the ability to operate a small dealership with less staff without being overwhelmed, knowing that we had one dealer a few weeks ago write in and they said, it's just quiet and we're calm because we know it's Stella, So there are advantages that really aren't economic to just knowing that your customers are going to be taken care of and you're not going to look bad or upset somebody you care about, your customers. And then on the other level, we did a investigation looking into dealer schedulers and looking at, they show who booked appointments, and Stella shows up just like a staff member. So it's as if you hired Stella, and now you have Stella answering. And by the way, Stella transfers out in a heartbeat. If they even whisper, I'm unhappy, or I want to talk to somebody, or it's not going well, it transfers right out. So Stella only handles calls where the customer's willing and able and having a successful experience booking an appointment. And we have dealers. I pulled one in San Diego. They booked 912 appointments on Stella in March.
I love that number.
I don't even know what to say. I looked across, I did a quick survey with my head of success, and we looked at about 30 dealers and went in to see who books what appointments. And, you know, the highest one we could find was one person booked 180 appointments at one of the dealers. But on average, most staff are booking under 100. Okay, Stella can book 900. Does she everywhere? No, not all dealers have that volume. But we have Toyotas, Hondas, Fords, all easily, hitting 600-700 a month, which is astounding for the price of half of one FTE.
Love it.
Do the math. Do the math.
Employee, come on.
Yep.
I hear amen. And the truth is that dealers are more than ever focused on the bottom line. There's some uncertainty in the economy. They are reluctant to start spending as, say pre-COVID levels. Yet inventory is building. We know that. We know that for sure. And the dealership of the future is going to be leveraging AI. They're going to be using it for digital voice assistants like Stella. They're going to be using that in content generation. They're going to be using it in lead response. This is the year, I believe, that your premise that the automotive industry would be significantly benefited by AI and being an early pioneer is being confirmed. So when you look out a year from now, and I'm not asking you to reveal any product roadmaps, but I mean, it would seem to me that the amount of calls that are being handled, the custom requests that are coming in, the detailed workflows that you're developing, Stella's getting smarter and smarter and smarter and smarter all the time. What does Stella look like a year from now, or what use cases could Stella be handling a year from now that she's not handling today?
Well, we love that question. It's a favorite topic, especially in our product management office. We've certainly looked at a lot of opportunity. Some of the moves that we've made recently, Brian, is we did build a dealer advisory panel, and we have 3 or 4 super group, from super group to small coming in to help guide us and give us advice on setting priorities, because there's just so much out there to do. As far as customer experience, we're now omni-channel. Stella has been telephone only, and that is so market differentiating that we're not aware of an AI on a telephone in any vertical besides Stella. All other products have been backed by humans listening in on the calls. Stella is the only product in automotive that has no supervision. So when you turn it on, it runs and delivers to plan. But now delivering that omni-channel over chat, web chat, as well as SMS, as well as phone, allows Stella to handle all engagement other than walk-in.
Wow, that's fantastic, because with the thought processes that go into setting up Stella to provide that amazing customer experience, right? It would make sense that a dealer who allows customers to text in when they need service, it's actually easier for Stella because there's no issues of, poor audio quality or heavy accent. If someone's texting in, they're going to recognize the language and start a conversation. That's really, really powerful.
Yeah. And I think looking at comparing to like a chatbot today, which really it's like able to identify that a person is communicating and flag it and get it to a human. And that's about as good of a chat experience that's been delivered. It can answer a few minor questions and then route the call to a BDC. It really just has no ability to consummate anything. Stella is the first thing that that gets in market that consummates a transaction. That right now is booking an appointment, but it's completely done, no human intervention, and it's injected into the scheduler with notes and proper annotations and proper opcode mapping. But I think we'll be looking to consummate more types of transactions, and certainly in booking test drives.
Wonderful. So if I get this right, Stella is able to do 6x in service bookings than the average BD agent at less than half of what it costs to employ a full-time BD agent, but works 24/7 and doesn't need a bonus package to work on holidays. Then what's holding dealers back from going all in? If we're an industry that leads by numbers and performance and competition, what's still the educational or emotional roadblock that you would love to break through, maybe a little bit more on today's interview?
Well, I think we're breaking through it. Some of the things that have happened, and I do attribute the news and the broad publication of what's possible, at a worldwide level, to really helping Stella. I think last year we had to educate a lot of dealers, and now we have to sort of deal with false expectations of superhuman skills that they're reading about. But I think as far as breaking through barriers, we know that dealers trust dealers. We've always prized the dealer referral. And, our referrals are tripling right now. So I would say we're there. We're still a small growing company. We're looking for, I think, just get the word out. There's certainly markets where we haven't had staff in field yet, that it's been harder to sort of penetrate. There's a lot of buyers out there looking for AI that may not have heard of Stella. And then, they make a short list and make a decision and then meet us, and they're sad that they didn't know. So for us right now, I think the most important thing is just to get the word out that Stella should be considered in any review of customer experience. And then we'll take it from there. We'll earn it. We have plenty of stats, great salespeople, great success team, and a great product to earn the business.
Love that. Love that. So Josselyn, if a dealer wanted to book a demo, talk to the team, get a price quote, what's the best website for them to go to get that information?
Yeah, it's stellaautomotive.com, Brian. Thank you.
Beautiful. Well,
Yeah.
For all the dealers that are listening to today's interview, I want to encourage you that many of my clients are shared clients with Stella, and their commitment to excellence and their commitment to working to customize the proper implementation that matches the culture and staffing of the dealership is without peer. So it's not just sign up, throw something up, and good luck. It's really a collaborative experiment, even though the technology itself, as Josselyn said, doesn't need adult supervision. The implementation and the testing and making sure all the routing and workflows are working, of course, is something that has to be perfect. So Josselyn, when a dealer signs up, how long does it take typically to get them onboarded, comfortable, and operational?
Well, the answer to that is it depends, Brian. It depends on what scheduler they're on. So we have had an experience in the industry with different schedulers being better prepared for integrating their data than others. And I know you've done a lot of work on the CDP project and the book that you just published, and are familiar with the disparity between core vendor systems and their ability to interoperate. And I would say, but there are clear winners. My Karma is, has been a great partner, is working really closely with us. Cox has been a great partner, really easy to go live on Cox. We can get a dealer up in 48 hours on Cox.
Wow.
Same with Affinitive. They've just been a breeze. We do have CDK live now. That's a little more complicated, but still achievable. And we're very proud to have delivered a real-time product over CDK, meaning live lookups. As you know, the Fortellis platform only refreshes nightly. So we did integrate with live lookups at CDK.
Wow. That's
so
great
yeah,
news.
Yeah, it is great news. And I think we're the first to have done that. And we're forging forward right now with Reynolds and Reynolds, but we don't have a go live date on that yet.
Okay. Well, these are great updates. And for dealers who are listening to today's interview, you should know that at the Digital Marketing Strategies Conference coming up in Austin, the applications of AI and sales and service are going to be front and center as we talk about 5 really important themes: first-party data management, organizing customer data for better activation through CDPs, marketing automation, AI, which of course Stella Automotive shines in, and of course the overall sales process and the staffing requirements to deal with a lot of this new technology. It's clear that for larger dealer groups, a customer experience manager or director is absolutely necessary to tie all the pieces together and leverage some of the amazing technologies that are coming to market. So if you haven't booked your ticket for DMSC, go to digitalmarketingstrategies.org. We have great rates at the hotel. And please book your tickets early because the show will sell out. And if this is the first time you're listening to one of my interviews, you should know that I have dozens of interviews with industry leaders, groundbreaking technology, and conversations with people who are helping to move automotive retail forward, like Josselyn's company is doing in the area of AI and solving one of the biggest customer dissatisfaction points is how we're communicating with our customers in real time. And so I want to encourage you to visit brianpash.libsyn, libsyn.com, or just search your Apple podcast channel or Google Play Store for the Brian Pash podcast and tune in. Josselyn, if you had to say one thing to the dealers who are listening today on our conversation, what's one thing you would like to leave them with?
I think I'd just like to say that we can help, and that AI is here. It's real. You can have it. It's the real deal, and we can stand it up when it's easy for a dealer to put Stella in.
Well, listen, I love easy, especially as dealers are stressed to, find time to explore new opportunities. And thank you for making it easy. For everyone who's listening, I look forward to seeing you in Austin, Texas, May 21st, 22nd, 23rd. And if you can't make it, maybe I'll see you at the Modern Retailing Conference in November in beautiful Palm Beach, Florida. Until then, look forward to spending time with you on a future podcast interview.